Well, hello there, wonderful people of the internet. Today is a bit of a meander around the Elm programming language. Going to start here at the elmlang.org. It says it's a delightful language for reliable web applications. I don't know if that's true, but if it has an animation here that you can click on, it's probably telling the truth because look how reliable that is. You can scroll down and read all the things here that the engineers have said. This is a good language. I'm sure this is a completely objective view of the language. Yeah. So let's just go through here and go on the playground and play around with it a bit. Actually, let's go to the guide. So let's see what it says about Elm. It says that it's a functional language that compiles to JavaScript. That's pretty neat. So it says that it has a strong emphasis on simplicity and quality tooling. So we're going to get to know the Elm language here a bit. So just a little bit of background. Most of my background is in C#, so I'm going to be coming at this from that perspective. So here's a little sample. Looks like we've got some imports, a main function, a type definition, increment and decrement types, some kind of an update function. So if we're bringing in this message, excuse me, if we're dealing with the increment message, we're going to take the model and we're going to do this with it. If the message is of decrement, we're going to take the model and do that. Here it looks like this is the definition of the model. So looks like looks like that's how we define things. And let's look at the example code so we can kind of play around with that. That is super fun. Looks like it actually works, so that's cool. So why a functional language? Here's something you can only get from a functional language like Elm. No runtime errors in practice. I don't know if that's true. Seems like a bit of an overpromise, but who knows? Maybe that's actually true. Friendly error message. I can't actually say that this is correct. They do have very friendly error messages. Reliable refactoring. I don't know about that. And automatically enforced semantic versioning for all the Elm packages. I haven't messed with that, but I'm sure that's probably true, which is pretty cool. It's saying, hey, we're better than JavaScript, which, let's face it, that's not really a super high bar, but hey, I'm glad people are trying to make a difference here. They never felt so confident while programming. That's pretty cool. Be pleasantly surprised. Well, I hope so. Let's see. What does Elm have to offer? Looks like we have a little REPL to play around with some numbers. And that works. And playing around with some string values, we can see that you can indeed append strings together, but you can't append numbers, and we'll get that famous friendly error message. I thought I was appending string values here, not number. Try using string from int to turn it into a string. So let's just go ahead and do that now. String from int, and then do that. And what do you know, that actually works. So, this is the nice, friendly kind of error messages that it was talking about earlier. Here in the REPL, I do like that it has a little reset button in case you freak out and you don't want to have to reload the entire page. So that's pretty neat right there. So functions, at least here in the REPL, this is kind of shows the spacing. So if you want to say greet, kind of the same thing here. I'm just going to go through and show how that works. So it is space dependent. So we'll say hi, and then add in name. So we'll have that, and we'll scroll down. I hit enter twice, and this little function thing here is done for us. So we don't have to worry about that. So let's call greet and then Bob, and then see what happens. See, that's pretty cool. All right, so pretty standard stuff here as far as function definitions. I think The spacing is actually, or sorry, the semantics for the like conditional statements, that is using spaces like Python. So you can see here, unlike most other languages, we don't use curly braces or parentheses to specify code boundaries. That is a little bit annoying. It uses white space and indentations instead. At some level, it does it feels a bit cleaner. I will say Python at some level does feel cleaner. Now that all the IDEs kind of have support for linting and formatting, it's not that big of a deal to use spacing, for semantics. But it is a bit annoying coming from a language like C#. So yeah, let's just keep on going. This just shows, more of the same. We just have, multiple inputs here, arguments, as it's called. Yeah, so it's talking about the differences of, people coming in from languages like JavaScript, where we have, also C#, where we have kind of this type of syntax. Again, it's just one of those preferences where that's how they do it. Yeah, so we have if expressions, a function with an if expression. You have if, then. I'm not exactly sure why you need the then. You could probably just take that out, put a semicolon in. I think that would be cleaner, or just take it out completely. Looks like you have some kind of inferred return type here. So that's pretty cool. Lists, that's most common data structure in Elm. Similar to arrays in JavaScript. Although the arrays in JavaScript, you could really have any type, if I remember correctly, and it looks like here, these are more of a proper list, and they all have to have the same type. So, it's going through here, list manipulation, looks like, we're calling some functions here, list functions. So, that's pretty neat. List.map, increment numbers. I don't know if this is calling from a static class or like a list namespace. Like, I don't know. We'll see how that works later. Yeah. So tuples, looks like functions can return multiple return types, and again, looks like the return types of the function are kind of inferred. So it's a bool and a string, and I'm not exactly sure how to explicitly say we're going to return a tuple of bool string, but eventually I'm sure I'll figure that out. So yeah, again, we have this if then and then a space dependent kind of return type. Records, kind of a key value pair thing. Nothing really to see there. Yep, more records. Yep. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there, and yeah, hopefully the screen recorder actually got it this time. So we'll see you guys later.